I'm Jess Starns and I'm one of the Adobe creatives in residence, and my residency's had a focus on inclusive design. I studied inclusive arts practice and I like to try and embed that in my practice. So inclusive arts means that you might start with some structure and maybe more like participatory type of artwork with a group of people. I would usually come with a theme. And then once people are ready, and they tend to do this automatically, I start to remove that structure so that there's more collaborative way of working, and that we remove like hierarchy from the space. Because always in the beginning, everyone's looking at me like, what do we do? And then over time, if you work slowly together, people then start to feel comfortable to share their ideas or to be more creative. I would see myself as an artist more than a designer. I've never done design before. Came here. So I've never actually been to a normal design studio. But because I'm a multidisciplinary artist anyway, I always go from the theme. My themes usually do with like disability or neurodiversity or history, because I have a background in museums. And then that theme is the starting point to then think about what like mediums we should use. But I've never really ever used the same medium either. I worked with an occupational therapist because I was interested to see how occupational therapy could be seen as like a design process, and we've made the cookbook that's not a cookbook.
From the moment we first met, we really talked about that design process, and I'm also interested in that sort of iteration that happens with my clients, my service users, in terms of looking at solutions and problem solving.
When we were looking at like accessible cookbooks, they were quite like clip arty, weren't they? And visually they were a bit confusing because you can see that the book wasn't made by like one person. Some illustrations, some photographs, some like stock images, and visually I found that quite like confusing to look at. So I wanted it to look like uniform. I think food can be quite like disabling. Food's quite a big impact on daily life.
That sort of ability to prioritise and really kind of break down actually what was important to you, help kind of focus a little bit. Okay, what can we achieve around participation with food? And that cookbook seems a logical step from that, I think.
The cookbook is to hopefully be of use to people who might, for example, experience like food avoidance, or maybe have dyspraxia and dexterity, or might be autistic and might have like sensory food preferences. Our studio collective, That's Effort, the name came about when we were playing with like the school inclusive design resources. They have these handling objects here, and they're there to show like good inclusive design but also bad inclusive design, and to think about who needs to be included in that design process. And one of them is the sock aids, and they were trying to work out how they put it on your feet. And then one of the young people in the group from Football Beyond Borders shouted, "That's effort," just realising that how maybe disabled people sometimes have to redesign things that have already been designed. And then also we're thinking that's effort because we're going to remove some of that effort in making our inclusive design product. With That's Effort, there was myself, 2 other V&A members of staff, 5 young people from Football Beyond Borders and 2 staff members from there. And we worked together over a period of time. So at first we learnt about what is inclusive design. Just behind you there's the ideas door, where we wrote down all our ideas for a potential inclusive design product. And then we voted what our favourites might be. And then we made prototypes of those favourites. And then the chosen one was the water bottle, which we're currently getting made at fabricators. This was made for Marcus, and it's a water bottle armband so that he can walk with his walking stick without his water bottle bashing and him losing balance.
So it's taken a while for us to figure out dimensions. The thread was quite difficult to get, but yeah, I think we've got something now that fits the bottle that Marcus wants to use.
Yeah. For me, it's the process, how you get there. I definitely like inclusive arts and that way of thinking. Yeah, it would be great if That's Effort could carry on in some sort of format.